Everyone, this is JRF videos, and the topic of today's video is types of antennas in insects. This is a very important chapter in entomology. In this chapter, we are going to talk about antenna, its structure, its features, what are the different classes, so that we can relate further when we are giving the examples of the antennas having the different structures. Then we'll be talking about the structure of antenna. Further, we'll be moving ahead with the different examples for the different categories, and then a few questions will be winding up. So let's begin. First of all, what is an antenna? This is a very important sensory organ for an insect which is placed on the head of the insect. So this part, because it is very sensitive to touch, smell or sound, it is called as feeler. This is a feeler. Antenna synonym can be a feeler. Okay. There are three names by which you can describe this antenna. First is that these antennas are mobile, that is, they are movable. Second, they are paired. They'll be always in a count of two n in number. Then segmented. They are having small little segments in them. So this is a feature of an antenna. Except for the class protrusion, no other class will have exception to not have an antenna. All will have an antenna except for the protrusions. These protrusions example is this. They will have no eye, no wings, no antenna. They lack pigmentation. They are usually white or pale brown in color. So whenever you are given a question that the organisms, find the organism which is not having antenna out of four, then the example will be a protrusion. So this is a very important part for your MCQ, and it's sometimes asked in the competitive examinations also. Okay. Now we'll be talking about the functions of antenna. There are basic two main functions of antenna. First is to detect the chemical around. If the insect is here, these are the antennas, and there is some chemical which can be a food, which can be a pheromone, then easily the antenna will help the insect to detect that chemical, and basis that he'll be able to detect the food or the pheromone. Second, it is the antenna is able to perceive the smell, any change in the temperature, any change in the humidity, any vibration, velocity change, or any wind direction change. These kind of changes can also be perceived very easily by the antenna. So they are important sensory organ for an insect. Now, when we talk about the insect classes, if we go, and this I am giving you a glimpse before because it will be easy for you to relate further with the examples of the different antenna categories that we'll be sharing. Okay. So insect classes, when we divide into two, bases the wings, we have pterygotas and the apterygotas. Apterygotas will be taken first because there are generally four orders in number. Protura, as we discussed earlier, this is a wingless insect class. So this falls under Apterygota. Okay, and this one of the important ones is this only. Now, when we talk about the winged classes, they are further categorized into two. One is the exopterygota. Exo means external. They have external wing development, and endopterygota is that they have internal wing development. One more difference they have is that the exopterygota will have the intermediate metamorphosis, that is, there will be no pupa stage. There are four stages generally, in which one stage is the pupa stage. There is no pupa stage in exopterygota. But when we talk about endoterigotas, they have complete metamorphosis. All the four stages are present. Pupa stage is also there. So if you see moths, some moths were falling into this category. You'll not see moths falling into the exoterigota category. So there is a difference in that way. Larva is here in the case pupa is there, larva is there in this category. Here exoterigota will only have nymph. Okay. Now let's talk about few examples. I'm just talking about these ones. I'm not describing them much. Okay, I'll just exemplify them. Lepidoptera, this is a class wherein butterflies and moths fall. Then we have Coleoptera, where beetles are. Hymenoptera may bees, ants, and wasps. These are there. Diptera is a very important class where mosquitoes and flies are there. Siphonoptera, there are many fleas again. Neuroptera, lacewing antlions. Mycoptera, this is scorpion flies. Trichoptera, then we have caddis flies. Okay, this is Same classification I told earlier also. Now, coming to Exopterygota, Orthoptera, we have grasshopper, we have cricket. Dictyoptera, we have cockroaches, we have mantids. Then we have Hemiptera, we have bugs. Homoptera, we have aphids and plant hoppers. Odonata, we have dragonflies. Isaptera, we have termites. Thysanoptera, we have thrips. These are the important ones I'm talking about. Okay. Then we have Ephemeroptera, we have mayflies. Melophaga, we have chewing lice. Okay, these are a few examples like Odonata. We talked about Odonata. So here we have dragonflies. You can see here examples and you can relate to them. Diptera, this is mosquito. Sucking house, this is then Anoplura. Then we have Thysanura. Then we have Heteroptera. Then we have Lepidoptera. In this way you can see. Ant comes under the Hymenoptera thing. Thysanoptera, Coleoptera. Okay, this way you can see. Why I am making you talk about this is when we'll be giving examples further, like of the different antennas, we'll be able to relate. For example, I'll be talking about this in the next slide. Now, first let's talk about the structure of antenna. What does antenna consist of? It has major three parts: SPF. SPF. Okay, you can easily remember this with the sun protection thing. S stands for scape, which is the basal part or basal segment, which is articulating your head capsule. This is the base, this is scape. Then we have we have pedicel. Pedicel is the second antennal segment. Then we have with the word F is the flagellum, and individually it is called as flagellomeres. These are the remaining segments. So this if you make or this if you write also, you will get extra points for this because this is a very important structure of antenna. There are three basic parts. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the different types of antennas. This is Setaceous antenna. Setaceous means bristle-like. Bristles are very, if we say they're very crushy. So the size of segment in this case is these bristles, they decrease from base to apex. These bristles, like structure, they are going to be more here than going up. They'll decrease from base, and this top is called as the apex or the head. Okay, the top, and this is the animal head. So this is kind of a structure of a Setaceous antenna. Example is a leafhopper, example is a dragonfly, example is a damselfly. So now when we are relating it back to that, so dragonfly is an Odonata. This way you can relate it to the coming examples. Okay, Cetaceous example is a leafhopper, dragonfly, and a damselfly. Now moving forward, filiform, this is thread-like. Okay, in these the segments are cylindrical and the shape of a cylinder is like this. Okay, it's not that proper I have made, and there are many cylindrical segments which are there, and the size of the segments is thickness we call or size we call. So such thickness is similar throughout. Okay, examples here are the grasshopper and the ground beetles. Okay. Next is moniliform. Moniliform means bead-like. Okay, beads are generally round in shape. You can relate to this. Maybe you can remember this way. They are generally globular or spherical with the prominent constrictions. Example is termite. Now, next is serrate. Serrate is saw-like. Okay, saw-like is the triangular projection. Saws are like triangular projected on the one side, not on the both the sides, but on singular side. Example is longicorn beetle in this case. Now, next is Uni Bipectinate and Bipectinate. For the ease, I have kept two in one so that wherever there is a similarity, you can easily relate to this. Just talk about the comb-like structure. When there is a single comb-like structure, that will be a unipectinate, and bi means two, so double comb-like structure. They will have segment of flagellum projections on both the sides. Example is sawfly, example is silkworm moth. Now, which one is which category? This is unipectinate, okay? This one because it is having flagellum on the singular side. Here it is on the both the sides. This is silkworm moth and it is having flagellum on both the sides. Next is clavate and capitate. Clavate is clubbed, capitate is knobbed. Capital, you can remember it with that. So, in the clavate, clubbing is there. Antennas are enlarging gradually towards the tip. And example for this is blister beetle and carrion beetle. Okay. And for capitate, example is a butterfly. They will have terminal segment becoming enlarged suddenly. So this is capitate and this one is clavate. Enlargement is gradually towards the tip. This is not sudden increase like in carrion beetle. But in case of a butterfly, we see sudden enlargement of the head or the capitulum. So that is an example of a capitate. Here you can see sudden increase. Here there is a gradual increase. Next is lamellate. Lamellate means plate-like. So in this case, it is nested plate or plate-like structure. Antenna tip is expanding laterally on one side to form a very flat plate-like structure. Example is a rhinoceros beetle, very important example, and a lemonicorn beetle. Then we have Aristate, which is pouch-like with the lateral bristles. Side bristles say it's like a pouch-like structure. Terminal segment is enlarged, and the bristle is called as arista. This much, arista. And the example of this is housefly. A normal common housefly comes in the Aristate. Then we have stylate. Stylate is like a style-like process is there. Terminal segment which is having a style-like process. Style is a male thing and example is a robber fly. Okay. Then we have plumose and pilose. These are also similar kind of, so I put in one. Plumose, you can say, is a feather-like structure. It's a feathery thing, like a male mosquito. Segments having the long whorls of hair in them. So it is plumose. Then we have pilose. Pilose is hairy. It's not feathery. Antenna is less feathery with few hairs at the junction or the flagellum ears. Example is a female mosquito. So a male mosquito can be described or differentiated with a female mosquito in the terms of their antenna, and the male mosquito is having plumose while the female mosquito is having a pilose structure. Example, you can see very keenly here male, this is plumose, and this is female having pilose. Okay. Then we have geniculate and flabellate. Geniculate is elbowed. This happens in honeybee or in the ants or in the weevils. There's a long scape, there's a remaining very small segment. They are arranged at an angle like an elbow joint. So that is geniculate. Flabellate, it is fan-like. Flab, you can correlate with a fan. Fan, very small fan-like arrangement is there. An example is a cedar beetle for that case. Here you can see this is a fan-like structure, cedar beetle, and here as the this long elbow-like structure, ant, weevil, or a honeybee. This is angle kind of a thing is being made in here. So it's an example. Now you have to write in the comment box below that basis the discussion that we have in the previous slides. What is the structure for antenna for ant and for a termite? Ant, this is an elbowed antenna. What will this be called? And termite, in this case, what will this be called? Basis all the study or the examples we have taken in the previous slides. This is for your exam. So give it in the comment box below. This is termite is A for you and ant is B for you. So give it in the form of A and B. Okay. Now, also, just to give you a glimpse back again, you can relate it or you can take a snap of it. Aristate, lamellate, serrate, flabellate, moniliform, pectinate, plumose, geniculate, Setaceous, stylate, and clavate. These are the all the different types of antenna. We'll go back again once more. Filiform, this is thread-like. Moniliform, this is beaded. Serrate, this is sawtoothed. Setaceous, this is bristle-like. Lamellate, this is nested plate-like. Pectinate, this is comb-like. Then we have uh, pectinate, this is comb-like, this one. Then we have plumose, this is long, hairy. Clavate, this is gradually clubbed. Then we have capitate, which is abruptly clubbed. Then we have aristate, which is pouch-like with one lateral bristle at the end. I hope you like the content. Please do subscribe to my channel first of all. Do share your viewpoints in the comment box below. If you have any queries related to that, you can also mention it the same way. And please do like my channel, share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching, guys.